We go.
And we're back.
We
Hello,
here.
everyone.
Hello. We realized last show we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Amani. And welcome to our podcast, College Football for the Girls, because this is for the girls.
Woohoo! Heck yeah.
This time, we are going to talk about week 3. And boy, what a week that has been.
We got to watch games together on Saturday, and one of them stressed us out so intensely.
No, two,
Two of them.
three.
Three.
Three of
Yeah,
them.
three.
Actually, it was definitely 3. Listen, y'all, I don't know why every time I speak, I have to recant my words every week because I literally said during week 2, I was like, oh, this is a cupcake week. We're about to see a bunch of cupcake games. Apparently not.
No.
I was unwell, like unwell.
It ended up being really interesting for a couple of games I thought would be for sure not as close as they were. I'm looking at you, LSU, South Carolina. That was interesting.
Was a good game.
That was a
good game. I honestly feel like South Carolina, you dropped the ball. Honestly, that's really the moral of the story. Like, even down to the last like few minutes, like the fact that LSU even had an option to get the ball back and try to kick and get into field goal range, like at that point it was y'all's game to lose and you lost it.
I think at the end of the day, South Carolina was very slightly the better team, but LSU was just they just let up off LSU at the end to allow them to get into field goal range, and that was just really so freaking disappointing for so many reasons. But
very upsetting for a lot of people's brackets and the pick'ems. We'll definitely talk about that later. But I also just feel like the calls were crazy. Like, I don't know if it was. I think South Carolina was getting a lot of flags towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I will say y'all did get hold on that touchdown. Y'all were supposed to. That touchdown was supposed to count. That whatever call they threw or whatever flag was thrown was total bullshit, in my honest opinion. That interception, was y'all's for sure.
That the refs this week were wild.
In a lot of games.
In the Georgia-Kentucky game, yes, I am totally fine for those that were wondering. I'm completely okay. We won. It doesn't freaking matter. Last time...
A win's a win.
Win's a win. Last time we went to Kentucky, we only scored 16 points, okay? Get off me. It's fine. But the refs in that game were calling the roughing the passer.
They didn't really call anything on Kentucky. And I was very confused because there was definitely a lot of, like, face mask, course call. Like, they were definitely doing the same amount of energy as Georgia, but only Georgia was getting the calls for most of it.
That roughing the passer call was absolute atrocity because what in the fuck was that? What was he supposed to do there? But
I remember at one point while we were at the bar, I literally was telling Jessica, I was like, it's like they're trying to find any way to hold y'all back. Like, I've never seen that before.
The only call I'll give them, and they found the middle ground for it, was there was a pass that ended up being ruled incomplete. But it bounced into the air, and Kentucky caught it and thought it was an interception and ran that shit back. It literally could have been a complete pass, incomplete pass, or incomplete pass, then fumbled it and ran it back. It was ruled an incomplete pass. I was mad because I was third down, but I appreciate the middle ground because I did not need that.
That could have been a touchdown, and we would have been having a different conversation today.
We would have left. We would have left the bar. We would have left the bar immediately. But no, I'm fine. They're fine. We get a bye week. It's great.
UCF and TCU, my goodness. I could not see a drop of that game. I literally was in the bar on Gamecast,
really was
watching it go by. I was so stressed because basically, like, in the last, 50-something seconds in the game, UCF scored a touchdown and basically got in the lead. And so TCU literally had 35 seconds to get a field goal. So I'm over here stressed. I'm trying to update as much. It's not updating. They pauses. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I'm stressed out only for a miracle to happen where I guess they went for the field goal. Granted, it was 56 yards. So no shit on the kicker, honestly. Y'all should have gotten him closer. but they missed. And I was like in the bar literally while people were stressed about the Georgia game, like, oh my God. Like it was so crazy. And the fact that I didn't even see an ounce of that game, I was just literally viewing the game cast. Crazy, bro. I was so
When you
stressed.
said that, I was like, TCU definitely could get close enough to do that field goal. And then when you said they missed, I was like, how did they miss this field goal? And then you go, oh, it was 56 yards. I was like, okay, listen. Like, you set that kicker up for freaking failure to make him do a 50-something yard field goal.
Well, the thing that was crazy was they had like 2 or 3 attempts to get him closer, and they just kept fucking up. I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
Because at one point, I thought they did get over the field goal range, and I guess a call or a flag happened. I don't know. I can't remember what the details were, but I literally, they were like so close, bro. It was just so, oh, it was like down to the wire. So that was a good game.
I wish I could have watched more of that game. Also, shout out to our one Pittsburgh fan. Congratulations on winning the backyard brawl. Congratulations, you beat West Virginia. Woo! Good job. Great job, kid.
That game was also insane because I was like, what are y'all? Y'all was intercepting
Dog.
left and right. I was like, that's insane.
It was a
dog.
battle of who's shittier, to be absolutely honest with you. Because
Yeah.
I want to actually let me look into this because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what the.
West Virginia had 2 interceptions, and Pitt didn't have any. Oh, okay, Pitt, pop off. Jeez.
Yeah, it was something crazy. Also, we're not going to talk about the Ole Miss weight game. That never happened. This is a fever dream, a canon event. Never really happened, and so we're just not going to talk about it.
Respectfully, just keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
This game did
Or
not
the
exist.
comments. Or the comments.
Did I watch it? Yes. Did it not exist? No.
No.
Wake did a couple times have me like they were gonna score, but of course it's Wake fashion, so they didn't.
No.
They did get 6 points. Proud of them to get scores on the board because I'm like, would have been embarrassing if we didn't get any. Also, the fact that a couple Ole Miss players got hurt during this game, please don't let this cupcake game put y'all out. Like, dog, it's Wake Forest, please.
That's
Please
usually
relax.
that's usually what happens. Speaking of Texas, lost their quarterback, their starting quarterback. Apparently his injury.
I knew it. It was his ribs. His ribs or something?
It's not as bad as what they think it is. He should potentially be able to come back next game, is what they're saying. But they were dropping like flies. We were sitting there watching the game from across the way, and every single time we look up, there was a player down. I'm like, damn, y'all, what's going on?
Literally kept telling Jessica, I was like, they are getting beat up. Like, I just remember looking, and it was like 3 players all limping off the field. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, dude, that one was bad.
And the kicker was, I swear they were like whooping ass too, wasn't it? Like, hold on, I'm trying.
It was
56-7. I was like, why the fuck are y'all getting beat up like this? Granted, I think UTSA was playing a little rough because I did see one play where somebody got like body slammed. I was like, yo.
That's roughing the passer. You got to be careful about that. You can't do that no more.
I think when they got in the 40s and they only scored 7 points, they were like, fuck it, we don't care. They was just getting flags left and right. Like,
they didn't give a fuck.
It was insane.
Speaking of not giving a fuck, Florida State, let's have a conversation here. You paid Memphis to come play you.
Wait, did you know how much they paid him?
No.
I think it was like that up. I think it was like 1.4 million. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up while you talk.
Bro, you pay Memphis to come play you, okay? This should be your cupcake game to redeem yourself, to get you a tally in that winner record. Get you a winning game. How the fuck do you lose to Memphis 20-12 and you never scored a fucking touchdown? Oh no, you did score a touchdown. Excuse me. You went for a 2-point conversion and fucked that. So technically, what the fuck was this game? Like, we were in the bar and we were seeing like crazy parts of it, and I'm just like, there ain't no way they're losing this game. And sure fucking enough, y'all lost this game against Memphis. That's they had 3 turnovers to FSU. Jesus, I don't know what's going on.
The amount of jokes and memes I saw on Saturday was so funny. The guy, shout out to the clown that had the sign that said "We are cooked." That was so fucking funny.
Bro, you were extremely cooked. I don't know what's going on with y'all. I don't think anybody knows. I'm confused.
gave Memphis $1.3 million to play them.
To lose. One
To
point.
lose.
Again,
You paid to lose. Paid a fat stack to
to
lose. No,
lose.
shout out to y'all because Memphis about to get a rockin' athletic center because of that.
I just, I don't know if they're retaliating against the coaches. You can't be retaliating against the system, because if it's me and I want to retaliate against the system, I'm going to be whooping ass. I ain't going to be sitting here losing. That's stupid.
I think it's truly just they're not good. The structure of the organization is just kind of falling apart. We're all witnessing it, and I think they all just need to have like a come to Jesus meeting. We need to get some more recruits in, because I know a couple of them left. We need to just figure out something, make good recruiting decisions, not DJ, good recruiting decisions, and really just kind of work on restructuring the program for the next couple of years and just like
I'm
do
surprised.
something.
I'm surprised they didn't do the Florida route of benching their starting quarterback and switching them out, which that's another game. Florida, golly, shit, bro.
Florida had like three QBs in by the end of the game. That
Bro.
was crazy.
I need Florida teams. Hell's frozen over, because you have Florida and FSU being shit, and Miami's the top team right now in Florida, and that's just not.
Yeah.
That's not reality.
Not even in the slightest.
No. So I genuinely, I don't know what's going on in FSU. Florida, your coaches, you got to restructure your coaches. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck. You can keep Napier if you want to, but them assistants, they gotta go. It's time.
You just need a whole reset. Like I think they just need to sit and like similar to Florida and Florida State need to hold hands together and just restructure their programs, get some good recruits, and try again next season. Because like
the problem is, here's my problem with that. FSU is talking big game about, well, we didn't have our best people, or the people that were starting in the bowl game were our juniors and sophomores. They just need the offseason to get better. Baby, offseason's happened. Y'all ain't showing
told
shit.
you, they were so focused on suing the ACC, they did not practice.
Yep. And Florida.
And I hate to be this person, but y'all are not proving your case on getting out. Just
Hell
saying.
no. And then Florida, apparently their alumni association or their board is also having a meeting to discuss raising the funds to get rid of Napier. But they have been on a coaching shithole for the longest time now. And I don't.
At this point, just get Arthur Smith so y'all just be.
No, don't do that to yourselves. Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit.
I'm kidding. If you want to be good, don't do that.
I don't even know who they would get at this rate. There ain't
No
nobody
clue.
that would want it. You can take the Notre Dame head coach, because he's probably about to lose his job.
Well, they did win this weekend against Purdue. Pretty
but it was
bad.
Purdue.
But it's Purdue. But still, they did win.
If they can keep it going, maybe.
Yeah. Boston College and Mizzou, also a really good game. Mizzou almost lost it. Not gonna lie. Almost lost it. If Boston College had a little more time, they might have got it.
I was shocked as hell when I saw that score, because I was like, I know good and damn well you did not let them show up in your fucking stadium that's supposed to be so fucking crazy. We've experienced it. And you almost let Boston College whoop your ass? I know that you're lying. That's freaking crazy.
Insane.
But good job, Mizzou. Thank God you won, because my good Lordy Lou. I just...
yeah. Not gonna speak much on them. Tennessee, of course, blew out Kent State. 71-0, which is insane, but like we all knew, like, okay, you feel good, you got your little cupcake win, whatever. Same with Alabama, because they also had some cupcake
Wisconsin.
team, can't remember.
They played Wisconsin.
42-10. Cool, congrats. Like,
woo.
Congrats on your cupcakes, y'all.
Shout out to Georgia State for ruining Vandy's hopes and dreams and beating them at Georgia State. Shout out to Del McGee, our old running backs coach. We love you, appreciate you, great job, great win, huge, huge, huge. I'm sorry, Vandy. I think the dream's now over. I think it is now. I think you're sobering up now a little bit, and I am so sorry.
Now, don't get me wrong. Georgia State's pretty good. I mean, even with the Tech game the week before, it was pretty, if I'm not mistaken, the score was pretty close then, too.
It was for a bit. I think Georgia Tech ran away with it at the end. I might be wrong, though.
I'm a look, but I'm like, don't knock them out now, because Georgia State's been pretty solid.
They're not bad. Also, Another team that paid a team to come beat them by double digits, Mississippi State. How the absolute shit you pay Toledo to come beat you 41-17, my guy.
That was insane.
That's worse than FSU. 41-17, fucking Toledo. What happened?
I looked it up. It was 35-12, but that's because Tech kind of snapped at the second half of the game.
There it is. So. Yep, they ran away with it at the end there. I think that's their only loss. That's Georgia State's only loss right now, which isn't a terrible thing. Yeah. There was one other game that I wanted to talk about because
was it Arizona KSU? Because Arizona is probably gonna get kicked. I haven't looked thoroughly at the AP poll yet. We're gonna talk about it today. But to be only 6 spots below, and you only scored 7 points.
Yeah, that was kind of bad. That was kind of
pretty embarrassing. So if you're on this list still, good luck, Charlie. But if you're not, it's totally deserved.
Colorado State. It's not the game I want to talk about. Let's talk about this fucking quarterback again because dude cannot fucking get it together.
He is going to be a PR nightmare if he does not get his shit together.
To give context for what's going on, the quarterback for Colorado State sat here and made a comment during an interview leading up to the game. It's a pretty big rivalry, talking about how, like, let's see if the Instagram how many followers they really have, talking about their Instagram and how big they are social media wise and shit like that. End of game, Colorado beats them 28-9 at whatever.
They put their money where their mouth is.
Correct. But the quarterbacks meet in the middle of the field. They caught this shit on camera. Colorado State's quarterback puts his hand out to shake Sanders' hand, and that motherfucker starts talking shit to him and refuses to shake his hand. And I'm like, my guy, you proved your point. You won. Just shake his hand.
Right. You could have saved that for the post-game interview. There could have been so many other ways you could have done this in a more classier manner, but like, dude, you still have to like,
you're the leader of the team.
Say your GGs and move on.
Correct. And it's like, shake his hand, pull him in, whisper in his ear like, yeah, I saw your comment, fuck you. Like, that's fine. But refusing to shake his hand and being all up in arms like his comment was so fucking hurtful, my guy, everybody's talking shit on you. Yeah. His comment doesn't fucking matter. Grow up. Respectfully, you need to grow up because holy shit. This is bad. Yeah. This is the second game. Or the second game this has happened.
Really, like, even if you wanted to be a little distasteful, you could have saved it for the post-game interview. You could have shook his hand and been like, yeah, I saw he was talking shit, but look at the score, though. We won. Like, that would
exactly.
You still would have been viewed as cocky, but that would have been a little better than just, like, not even.
Because you proved the point. Like, we're still fucking better. You can talk all your shit, but we still whooped your ass, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But now your win is just... I ain't looking at the win. I'm looking at your dumbass and what you're spewing because it's just absolutely freaking ridiculous. I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you have any other games at top of mind?
No, we didn't really talk much about UGA in Kentucky.
I did a little bit at the
give more thoughts about it.
Okay. Defense saved our ass. I appreciate our defense. D-line needs to step up a little bit. I won't lie. But defense, I appreciate you. Thank you. I feel like our O-line has some work. Tate Ratledge did go out during the first half. He, if you didn't see, had fucked up his knee and sprained his ankle. So he's out until at least Georgia, Florida, which is a long time. He is one of our most senior O-linemen, so this is fine. But that aside, I think our O-line has a lot of work in regards to running game because our running game was just not there. They couldn't run around the side, couldn't run up the middle. Near the end there, they started kind of figuring out the scheme that was working. But I feel like they were trying to avoid opening up the playbook as much as possible with Bama in the books in 2 weeks, which is fine. Because there were sparks of, like, great plays, great passes, and Carson really stepped up. And I appreciate them hiding the playbook. But my blood pressure still hasn't gone down. So if we can not have that happen again, like, that would be great. Amani was a witness to it.
Yeah, I was telling Jessica, I was like, when that first quarter started, I was like, yo, Kentucky's defense is working hard, boy. Like, they were really working hard to make sure they could not even get down the field for real.
Yeah.
And so I was telling her, I was like, yeah, like, I feel like this is going to be a close game. But based on what I saw in the first half, I was like, their defense is about to be gassed out
And they
because
were.
they were just working. I mean, I saw it in their faces. They were working so hard to stop Georgia. And so you did kind of see it a little bit towards the end. Like you started seeing them open up. You started seeing some holes where people could run through. If I had to make a comment on what I saw, I just felt like this was the first team this year that Georgia has played that kind of had that pressure on them. And I think the offensive line, the QB, I think a lot of them just weren't really like fully prepared for that, given this is like their first, I would say, tough opponent they
Yeah.
played so far. So I just think they just needed to see it and figure out like how to adjust. And I feel like they'll be okay like moving forward. But like if they don't, y'all got
I
a tough road ahead.
Yeah, I firmly believe that they were trying to be conservative in the play calling just to save as much as they could for Bama because we didn't want to open up. You don't want to open up everything before one of your biggest opponents this year. Like
That's
you don't want to
fair.
give them that shit. But to your point, I don't think the O line was set properly blocking scheme wise. I think it was a mismatch and. By
Yeah.
fourth quarter, they started kind of figuring it out, or really second half, they really started making those
Yeah,
adjustments.
I just don't think they had experienced like pressure like that, at least in a while, because they hadn't really played anybody. But I also feel like just from what I was seeing from the QB a little bit, it wasn't a problem, but it was just like there were just like some simple things that I saw he was like messing up the whatchamacallit, when they would like hike the ball, sometimes he could kind of fumble a
Oh,
little
those
bit. Like
snaps. There were two
the
bad
snaps were
snaps.
really, it was just
Yeah.
like I could feel his nerves.
Well, the snap, though, was on the center. They had that center over there working his ass, like re-snapping that ball.
Fair. But I just think, yeah, there were just like little fundamental things that I think it was just a lot of like, we need to readjust because this is not a cupcake team like these other teams are playing. No shade, but I think they'll be fine. I think they'll adjust. I think if the O line can get its life together, they'll be okay.
I also just want to say, and I said this at the top, playing Kentucky at home, and the last few times we have been like 3:30 or night game, and it's always normally it's at the top of the season. Last time we played at Kentucky, we only scored 16 points. The year before that, it was a very small amount of points. I want to say like maybe 20 or something like that. And I very much remember the season or the game that it turned into a kicking fest where we only scored, I think, like 9 points, maybe 12. And it was all Rodrigo Blankenship because that was the game where he did his interview with his helmet on, my precious, precious bean. But I give props to Carson for keeping his cool and still like fighting to the end to try to get them something, even when he was messing it up. One play that I think really was the deciding factor was, I think it was like third down. It was third down. Our tight end, Oscar Delp, I want to say, flew into the air on his back, landed, the ball popped out, and it was a fumble. It was ruled a fumble. But one of Georgia's receivers, I want to say, jumped on that shit so quick and saved it.
Immediately.
And it ended up being a first down. But that was the perfect optimum of like, yeah, Kentucky was like really fighting for it, but Georgia wanted that shit. Like they were on their P's and like they were like, no, we might not be great right now, but we gonna keep fucking like being on our P's and Q's, and that being attentive of where the ball is it really, I think that play kind of saved the day of just like, because they were surrounded by Kentucky at that moment, so it could have really been recovered by Kentucky, but props to that player. I want to know, I need to look up who it was, but that play really was the deciding factor, and I think having these 2 weeks to like really get things situated and figure out the O-line now that Tate's out, I think may be beneficial, but I ain't talking on it. I don't talk on games beforehand because it makes me nervous, so I'm not saying nothing. We'll see what happens.
And also shout out to the coaches. I thought they did a really good job of managing the time.
Yes.
Especially when it came down to the end where it was like, because I mean it was 13-12 and they had like maybe 2 minutes left on the clock. And from what I saw with the South Carolina game and also with the UCF game, time is very valuable. And so the fact that they had like I think 3 timeouts left, like just the way they managed the last like 2 minutes of the game was truly like impressive, because that amount of time, people like, you never know, like even when they were able to run the clock down to like 4 seconds, we were like, anything can happen still.
I
But
I bore witness to the Hail Mary from Tennessee with 4 seconds left. I bore witness to that. The game's never over until it says zero. But no, I think the clock management really helped us out at the end of the day. So I give Coach Smart his props, because
yep.
he even when we had to kick the ball back, we didn't want to, but he was like, I'm letting this clock run out. We will take the penalty. I don't care, but we're going to let another 10 seconds run off this clock. And yeah, it was an extra penalty to back us up, but if we were already punting, it didn't matter. So
Right.
I give him props. I give him props for coaching them through that shit, because you could see like he was dead. He got into Oscar Delp when he dropped that ball. When he fumbled that ball, he got into his ass. He was glad we got it, but he was like, absolutely not. Ball security, you cannot do this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just felt like the offense was very, I don't know how to explain it. It just felt like little fundamental nerves.
If I had to
to
give
me.
the offense an overall rating, I would give them a C. If I had to give the O-line a rating itself, I would give it a C minus, because my God, y'all have some work to do. Receivers fought for their lives, but I think we need to utilize them more. But to be fair, Carson never had fucking time to throw
He
that
didn't.
ball down the field. And when he did, it was like spare moments, and he was sacrificing his body for the sake of it. So, O-line, if you could give my man some time to throw that ball and let our tight ends and wide receivers do some work, that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. That's all.
Yeah, so that's week 3.
Week 3!
Looking ahead at week 4, I was like, holy crap, we're about to have some good games. I mean, just the matchups I saw, I'm like, I'm kind of nervous. And these ain't even my teams.
I know.
Like,
Florida, Mississippi
nervous.
State, I'm actually not mad about this game. I'm very interested to see what these two shitheads are going to do, because both of them are not great. Both of them are 1-2, haven't won a damn game, like a good game yet. So I'm interested in that game for sure. And Arkansas Auburn, give me that game. I want to watch it.
The one I have my eyes on is USC Michigan. I feel like
that's a good one.
It's gonna be a good matchup.
I also
and
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because Michigan's kind of been. I mean, did they lose this week? I can't remember if they lost this week or
they
the week
won
before.
this week, but they lost the week
Lost
before to
last week.
Texas. Yep.
Yeah, so they're kind of on this like middle ground, and USC's been doing all right. So it'll be interesting to see that matchup, and it's a 3:30 game. So
Oof, I'm here for it. The other one I'm interested in is Tennessee, Oklahoma. Let's really see how good you are, Tennessee, because that's a 7:30 night game in Oklahoma. And I'm sorry, but Sooners are fucking wild, fucking nutty. So let's really see how good you think you are. Let's see.
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to test it. I want to find out. Let me find out how good you are.
Surprisingly enough, I know these teams both have been on a sad decline and just not doing well. But NC State Clemson, with it being a conference game, could be potentially good. I mean, it's a noon game at Clemson, so they're in Death Valley. Well, Clemson Death Valley, I should say.
Yeah, you got to be specific there.
Got to be very specific, because if I say that, there's some LSU fans that'd be pissed.
Ooh,
but
they be
anyway,
mad.
I've seen firsthand when you play in Clemson's Death Valley, it is a struggle to even get a point. So it'll be really interesting to see NC State there, especially with it being a conference game.
I'm pulling for NC State. I would love to see Clemson lose this one.
Please,
so bad.
NC State.
Come
I keep
on,
rooting
man.
for you, and you keep disappointing me. Like, my gosh, please.
Also, a fun one that's a Friday night game. I'm actually interested in this matchup. Illinois and Nebraska.
Oh, that's about to be a game, too.
Illinois is 24th. Nebraska is 22nd right now. We're going to get in the AP poll later. But I'm interested to see, like, all right, Nebraska, what you got? This is I think, their first ranked game. What you got? I want to know. You handed it to Colorado. But let's see what you got moving forward.
Yep.
I would also say Tech and Louisville.
No.
Okay. Why is that?
I'm just not convinced.
Okay.
I'm
By
not
which
convinced on
one?
that. Both.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be a matchup because to me, they both just feel.
Mediocre?
That's a good way to put it. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
I don't know. I
Tech's
mean,
Tech's win over FSU doesn't look that impressive anymore.
right.
To be absolutely
And
fair,
Louisville, if I have to recall, hasn't really played anybody yet.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. So like
No,
that
they
game,
haven't.
yeah. So this game to me, I honestly, this is going to be the determining factor of how well y'all actually really are because I don't know at
I,
this point in time on both teams. It's up in
and
the air.
another determining factor. I love these games where it's literally going to determine how good these are. Tennessee, Oklahoma, Georgia Tech, um, Georgia Tech, Louisville, um, Utah, Oklahoma State is another one. 12-14 going against each other.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty good.
That's going to potentially decide who's going to be that last spot in the top 12.
And for some odd reason, and like I said, we're going to go into the AP poll later. But Northern Illinois, you're clearly on the map still. You live to see another day, and now you're considered a ranked game playing Buffalo. So I guess we got to see what you can do this week.
I didn't even realize they won this weekend. That's good to know. Damn.
Yes.
Good on y'all. Congratulations.
They actually, I think, moved up a spot.
Oh.
But anyway, we're going to wrap this up because this is our summation of week 3, a little forecast into week 4, and we're going to talk about the AP poll now.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games this week. I'm actually so excited we have a bye week because I get to just enjoy this chaos.
Just to sit at home and just watch and enjoy ourselves
And
because
breathe.
Wake plays Louisiana Tech, I think, or Louisiana. I don't even fucking know. This should have been our homecoming game. That's all I got to say. So I'm not even like thinking about Wake this week either because I just think there's some really good games lined up.
I'll just end with this. Cal is playing Florida State. Florida State is favored by only 2 points, which is hilarious to me because Cal right now is undefeated 3-0.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a little bias in there, if I had to be honest.
I would also agree. So yeah, y'all stay tuned to these games because I'm really interested this weekend, and we'll talk more about it obviously next week. But yeah, let's hop into AP Top 25. Let's see what the hell's going on there. All right, y'all. We diving into the AP Top 25. And I'm already seeing some very interesting changes to the bottom 25 because how is Syracuse still out of the top 25? Explain.
I think Syracuse going to have to be undefeated for the whole season for them to consider them in the AP.
The ACC
Did they have a game this week?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they won, too. They did win. They're playing Stanford this weekend, actually on Friday night, so I'm going to be tuning into that one as well. Syracuse is probably, this is my opinion, probably one of the better teams in the ACC right now, if not the only better team in the ACC right now. How are they still left out of the top 25? I don't understand.
I mean, they even got Memphis above them, and I understand they whooped FSU this weekend, but golly.
It's not that impressive anymore if FSU is this trash. I don't understand this.
I just think, like I said, I know it's very hard. I feel like they're going to be one of the ones where they're going to have to fight for a reason to be on here versus some of these teams are going to have to fight for a reason to stay. So I think they are slowly creeping up because they were like 4 or 5 places behind. So if they can keep it up, they may be on there next week if we see some upsetting things.
Well, here's my beef. They beat Tech. And y'all still don't have them in the top? I'm confused here.
Tech also had an upsetting lot. Like, I just think, like I said, knowing how biased the AP poll is a lot, it's going to take a lot for them to fight their way to the top, basically. Like, they're going to have to prove themselves. Like, even when, and this is a fever dream too, canon event, but it's fine. I'll talk about it. A couple years ago when Wake made it onto the AP poll themselves because we were doing pretty significant, it took them weeks to finally put us on there. And we were out showing out everybody. Like, it's just something about these teams that are known to be historically bad. They're just not convinced that they can have a good year and that they're worthy of being on the AP poll.
That's just, it's interesting to me because then they threw Northern Illinois in the mix, which I understand. They earned their win. Don't get me wrong, but I don't.
Oh, they actually went up 2 spots. My mistake.
That's what I'm saying. And they dropped Arizona and Boston College. But like, I don't get the
Wait, they went up 2 points and didn't play anybody this weekend?
yeah, apparently.
That's insane work.
I
That's insane
this
work.
I listen. I love the AP poll because it is fun to see what other people think, but also the atrocity that is this AP poll. It having Memphis having more votes than Syracuse is maddening to me because they beat a shitty FSU team only by 10 points. I don't get it. Anyways, moving on. Let's start with the bottom 25. Good job,
Um,
Texas A&M.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same sentiment that you're feeling with Memphis. I'm kind of feeling it here. You beat Florida barely, and Florida ain't really doing much right now. So like,
Yeah,
I'm just not really convinced at this point in time. So
same.
I guess you play Bowling Green.
That's what I'm saying,
Okay,
man. All these games at the top being like,
it's fine. At this point, I feel like I said, very similar to how you feel about Memphis. I think because they beat a team that's known to be good. Okay, whatever. Like I said, Florida's not really doing a lot.
no,
And y'all only won by 13. So,
not that impressive, to say the
yeah,
least.
not at
Anyways,
all.
Illinois, good job, kid. You beat Central Michigan. I mean, by a lot. That's a fat margin. But this game this weekend,
Also, crazy that they're 3-0 and still below Northern Illinois. I think that's also very interesting. Granted, Northern Illinois didn't play this weekend, but like, I'm sorry, if you're a 3-0 team and someone is 2-1 or someone is 2 and you should at least, first of all, Clemson is 1-1 and still above them. Like, I'm sorry, like I know it
Clemson
depends
has
on the
no
teams
business
that,
being in top 25, period. End of
like,
story.
I understand it's the teams they play and things like that too, but like, I'm sorry. If there's a team that's 1-1 and they are 2 spots above this team, I just find it hard to believe.
Again, like I said, Clemson has no business being in here. They shouldn't have even moved up. I don't know why the hell they got moved up when they didn't freaking play anybody
They
this
didn't play
weekend. That's
anybody.
surprising to me. I will say probably for Illinois, it's the fact that they've only played some pretty very small teams that they should have beat, minus Kansas, but it's Kansas. Kansas is a basketball school. They're not really a football school
Yeah.
out here.
I mean, I guess this is fine. Whatever.
That's fine, but I agree with the sentiment of I find a one win, one loss team above 4 teams that have more wins. That's
It's just baffling
wild.
to me. But then again, like again, not to be this person too, I guess because they played Colorado, but Nebraska's even above them, and they haven't really played anybody either. They
That
played Colorado and won, but still, like I don't know.
I don't get it. I'm happy Nebraska and Illinois are playing this weekend because I think that's going to kick one of them out, and if it doesn't, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
But I swear
Speaking
to God,
of,
if Memphis moves up, I'm sick. Continue.
just talking about the ones that got dropped from the ranks. Arizona, I said it in the last segment, totally justified. I understand why they got dropped. Makes sense. Boston College, yes, they lost, but I'm very surprised because didn't they play a tough team?
They played Mizzou.
Yeah. So, like, of course, I understand a loss is a loss, but if you got 1-1 Clemson, why you couldn't keep Boston College?
This is what I'm saying about the AP Top 25 poll. I love talking about it because some of the times it doesn't make fucking sense.
It
Like I
doesn't
don't
make sense
understand
at all.
some of the thought process because I'm with
As-
you. If anything, Boston College should have been like 25th, 24th. Like they were
It's
24th
right.
last week, but like come on, man.
And like I understand the one loss Clemson has was to Georgia. I understand that. But Mizzou is also in the top or was in the top 10 or so. I feel like it's the same sentiment. Like you can treat Boston College and Clemson the same at this point.
Genuinely, and not to mention they had Mizzou close to the freaking
Right.
end, and
That's what I'm saying.
I
It
don't.
doesn't make sense.
I
Clemson lost and only scored like 6 points. Like I don't understand the logic behind this. So,
whatever. I don't want to talk about
Um,
Clemson. They don't deserve to be there.
They play NC State, so this is gonna severely switch up anyway. So fine.
NC State, for the love of God, please do us all a favor.
This is the weekend to show out, bro.
do
Like, if you're gonna-
something,
if you're gonna do something, this is the weekend to do it.
please.
But anyway,
all right. Iowa State, you didn't play anybody. Congratulations, you moved up. Yay.
Louisville was not even ranked and jumped up on this list at 19.
I thought they
Who
were
did they
ranked
play?
last week.
Nobody, right?
No, they
Huh?
didn't have a game last week.
They stayed. They
They
stayed. I'm
stayed. They
sorry.
didn't move.
They stayed. Fine. Fine. Michigan dropped one. Even, well, okay, fine. Whatever.
That's Arkansas State, and you're only 1 by 10. Not to mention, you had just gotten off a really bad loss against Texas, and you only have 10 points over your opponent to show for it. I don't know, but this matchup with USC.
Right. That's why I was like, they play USC. So.
Oh boy. Oh, good lordy.
LSU stay. Oh, sorry, I skipped Notre Dame.
You can skip them. It's fine.
All right, they won. Cool, congrats. They played
Miami, Ohio. Man, Ohio?
Fine.
LSU didn't move. Why? They literally they came back and beat South Carolina. Mind you, South Carolina, yes, is not ranked. But how the hell?
I think this is being nice because I thought they would have at least dropped one or something.
I would have.
I
thought they would have moved up one. I don't know.
No, because again, like I understand, but South Carolina was unranked and y'all only beat them by 3. Like had this been a different situation, they probably would have dropped completely.
That's true.
So I honestly think they were being generous with keeping them where they were because I honestly felt like they should have dropped at least a spot or two, in my opinion.
Well, if they're doing the
but
same,
seeing as how the bottom is cupcakes, then maybe that's why.
Well, no, because if you apply that same logic, because Michigan dropped a spot even though they beat Arkansas State, then why the hell was LSU not shown the same thing?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said they were being generous. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
They're being generous. I feel like they should have dropped. Y'all want to keep them there? Fine.
That's fine.
Especially given that Oklahoma also stayed and they beat Tulane 34-19. You know what? Y'all got it.
Again, I love talking about the AP poll because half the fucking time this shit don't make no sense.
It doesn't make any sense, bro.
I don't.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't get the madness here. Whatever. Like Oklahoma State, they beat Tulsa 45-10. They drop a spot even though they whooped ass. Why?
Yeah.
¿Por qué?
Well, like I said, it's gonna be some switching up for sure because Oklahoma plays Tennessee, so that's gonna be
somebody's falling in that regard.
And forget somebody's falling, somebody's dropping. If Oklahoma loses, I don't know how they could justify. They might be at the very bottom.
But imagine if Tennessee loses, they're out that top 10. They out the top 12, baby.
For sure.
Like,
well, they're gonna be right down here with Michigan.
Actually, I would not put it past the AP top 25 to give them a little bit of favoritism because Oklahoma is a top 15 opponent. But if it's a bad loss, you need to get them down. Knock them down.
I hate to be this person, but Arizona lost to a ranked team as well, and they got completely dropped. So I don't know.
And they were 20th last week. That's fair. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know what they would do in that. That's going to be an interesting one. We'll have to remember to come back and check that next week. I'm actually interested in that.
Speaking of Kansas State, talking about that lost Arizona, moved up one.
Because they beat Arizona. Good. Great. Why are we not showing that same shit to Oklahoma State that just won too? I don't get it. I don't understand why they switched places. I guess it's a bigger win because you beat a ranked Arizona. Great job. They were a barely ranked Arizona. Clearly not a good Arizona. But that's an interesting just change of places.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, little Utah didn't play anybody. So they did play someone. Sorry.
Yeah.
And they didn't move?
I wouldn't have made a move. Look what the score was. 38-21.
Yeah, but Utah State.
Against Utah State.
But Utah State ain't ranked. I would bump them down a spot. And move Kansas State and Oklahoma State up. One.
Oh, fair. That's fair.
Like, why? Okay.
Well, guess what's about to happen? Because Utah plays Oklahoma State this week, so one of them is getting flip-flopped around.
Oh, my God. Dude, this weekend is actually...
That's going to be a good game.
Bro, I'm excited for this weekend.
Yeah. USC stayed, didn't play anyone this week, so they got to chill.
That's fine.
If I was at 11 and I didn't play, I'd be chilling.
I'm fine. As long as we're in the top 12. I keep saying this all year. I'm going to keep saying it. As long as we're in the fucking top 12. I don't care. That's where it matters is the top 12, baby.
Yeah. But they play Michigan, another ranked
Yeah.
versus ranked, so that'll be interesting to see as well.
Oh, Penn
Um,
State. They do not love you because you fell and you didn't play anybody, bro. That shit funny.
but honestly, I feel like they're going to. They play Kent State, and the way Tennessee whooped that ass, I'm sure they're either going to stay or bump up next
Hold
week.
on now. Don't give Penn State that much love because Penn State has fucked up against teams they should have beat many a times. So, Kent State, I'm not saying I'm rooting for you, but I would love if you whooped that ass. That would be so funny. I don't see it happening, but man, with how this season's going, I would not be fucking surprised.
I don't know, just in my brain, when I think of Penn State and Tennessee, I feel like they have the same energy. So I'm like, I don't know. It might not be 71-0, but it's definitely going to be a
I
pretty rough ass whooping, I think, in my
I
brain.
would say they're more so like a Mizzou instead of a Tennessee because I wouldn't say Penn State's offense has been popping off like
But
Tennessee's has.
yeah, but Mizzou also has been scoring a lot of points on people too.
Just not Boston College. It's only 27. Either way,
That's fair.
I think it's hilarious that they dropped 2 spots. I don't think they'll have them move if they beat Kent State because it's Kent State. I will
I don't know.
cackle. Well, because here's the thing: if USC beats Michigan, they're moving USC up. If Utah beats Oklahoma State, they're moving up. So then Penn State might definitely fucking fall. Which would be hilarious. I would not be mad about it. I do not like Penn State. I would
I think
love
it's
a
gonna
fall.
I think a lot of the switch up's gonna determine from this Oklahoma Tennessee game because if Tennessee loses, I don't see them being in the top 10 anymore. So there may be wiggle room for Penn State to move up just slightly to like 9 or stay where they're at. But I think it's going to determine on that game for sure because I'm like, they're not going to be able to justify keeping Tennessee in the top 10 if they lose to Oklahoma.
I think, yes, that is one. I also think the two below them, I think it's going to come down to Tennessee and Oklahoma, how that game goes, how USC Michigan goes, and how Utah and Oklahoma State goes. Because if all three of those games, if USC and Utah win and Tennessee loses, I could see Penn State falling. If Tennessee wins and USC and Utah wins, I could also see Penn State falling. I would be shocked if they stay in the same spot if USC and Utah wins, and especially if Tennessee loses. I don't see them hanging out in that spot. I've yeah, I just don't see them hanging out in that spot, and I don't see them getting bumped up either.
I definitely don't, I don't know. In my brain, if USC and Utah both lose,
Well, that's a
I
different
think
story.
yeah, I think they'll be fine. If one of them wins, the other loses, I think they're going to stay where they're at, maybe bump up to 9, depending on what Tennessee does. But if Tennessee wins, then they're for sure getting bumped. I think that's why I said I think it's going to come down to Tennessee and Oklahoma because I think the only way that they could stay where they're at is if Tennessee loses.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Go ahead.
Oregon won against Oregon State. Nobody's surprised. They got a little bye this week, so they're chilling. I think, depending on how all these games around them go, Oregon might be 10.
I gotta say right now, everybody in that last 4 spots, 9, 10, 11, 12, you better hold on to your britches because
Breathe.
oh shit, bro. This weekend's about to determine a lot of shit for you guys. Like, not really for Penn State because you're playing Kent State and Oregon, you got a bye week. But if USC and Utah can pull this shit out and whether Tennessee loses or wins, either way, it's about to really kind of decide like how they're going to be placing this bottom 4. And yeah, we got a lot of time before the playoffs, but it's going to be interesting how they're going to play with that because if that's how they play with it now, that's how they're going to do it later.
Yeah,
I'm
I wouldn't
very
be
interested.
surprised if Oregon fans are locked into those games this weekend because,
Bro, I am.
my goodness.
I am. It's about to get real interesting up in here.
Miami, look at them. Oh my gosh, going up 2 spots. Look at them.
Hell has frozen over.
Our only hope from the ACC, dog. Our only hope.
Hey, you got an undefeated Syracuse too. Don't forget them. They're there too. They're there too.
I have to wait for them to get on the poll first to root.
Well, they won't get them on the poll, even though they're undefeated right
I
now.
know
Damn, dude.
they're gonna have to fight. I'm telling you, they are gonna have the. I am calling it now. They're gonna have the Wake Forest story where they're gonna have to really fight hard to prove themselves on this list, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Given some of these teams on here shouldn't even really be on here.
I even think if they beat Stanford this weekend, they ain't gonna put them in the top 25. Watch.
They're not. They're not.
I guarantee it. That's some
The
bullshit.
only
dog.
way, and this is my honest opinion, the only way Syracuse can end up on this list is if for some reason, I'm gonna scroll back down. If some reason down in here, there's some fuckery going on. That's the only way I can see it. There just has to be some fuckery between 25 to 20 where they could justify putting them on.
Well, if Buffalo beats Northern Illinois and Nebraska beats Illinois, then maybe.
Could be.
Maybe.
Could be. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, at the very moment, Miami. Miami.
Yay.
Not yay.
I'm indifferent to Miami. They're not my favorite, but you won't catch me cheering for them half the time. I kind of semi-respect you because you did take Coach Rick for a long time, or for a while anyways, and you took good care of him until he retired. But that's wild they have him in the top 10 already. But
I know. I'm kind of scared for them. I mean, they don't have any worries, I don't think, because they're playing South Florida.
No, that's my other thing is, other than Florida, they haven't played anybody.
Yeah, I don't think they have anything to worry about right now, but I do think if they don't have somebody tough in the next few weeks, we might start to see them drop out of the 10 because I think some of these other teams are going to have some tough schedules ahead. Mm-hmm. And if they don't have anything to show for it, they're not going to be able to justify keeping them there.
No, unless if they do actually keep them in the top 12 moving forward, if these big matchups happen, clear favoritism, which we already know there is, but like that will be wild. That would be just absolutely wild.
Yeah. Mizzou.
Why you? I mean, I get why you dropped them. One, because they did struggle against a very low-ranked Boston College, a no longer ranked Boston College. Y'all lucky it was one spot. I'm gonna say that because Jesus
but also,
Christ.
Oh shit, y'all playing Vandy? I'm just kidding. I mean, who knows? Vandy's
that team you got to be careful with, man.
Vandy is I mean, they are just so up in the air. You don't know.
Wild card.
What I like to tell people is Vandy's sole purpose of their football program is just to fuck shit up.
Yep.
Like, they know they're not going to be good. They know they're not going to be one of these teams that's in the AP poll doing big things. Their sole purpose is like, how can we just fuck shit up? And I'm here for it, honestly.
You got literally Vandy and Mizzou are both those sleeper teams that people just kind of overlook majority of the time in their seasons. And you got the two wild cards going against each other. I'm here for it. Give it to me. I mean, I fully expect Vandy to get their ass whooped, but I am here for it.
I'm also, given that they barely got the win over Boston College, I'm not going to count it out. Simply because, like I said, Vandy's sole purpose of their program is to fuck shit up. True. I'm here for it, though. If y'all do it,
give me the chaos.
I would like to see it.
Give me the chaos, man. I love chaos when it rains. It's so fun.
Love it. It's so great. Miss. Okay, we're not gonna talk about this.
No, you skipped Tennessee, which is fine. You can skip them. They'll talk about them.
Oh, see, my brain just does not associate teams that
That's fine. We don't care for them. They won. You moved up a spot, beating Kent State.
They won. They play Oklahoma. This is gonna be a game to watch this weekend. We'll see how they do. Okay, next.
You sure you want to talk about this one?
No, we can skip over this one a little bit too. Yeah, y'all won. We weren't surprised. Nobody was surprised. I'm sure we were one of the ones that got a nice $2 million for it. They probably threw in an extra 2 if they were like, make it your homecoming game and embarrass you even more. I'm surprised nobody showed up with paper bags over their heads like they did at where was that? FSU. Yeah. I mean, we're not there, thank God, because I feel like I can justifiably say that we're better than FSU.
You've already won 2 games, I think, this season, so you're already astronomically better than
ahead
FSU.
Of them.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm so sick of y'all playing these cupcake teams. Georgia Southern?
Yeah.
Why are you sitting at 5?
Yeah.
I'm
And
like
then
kind of over it at this point.
look,
Your season is just a bully season.
then you look at our schedule and you're like, what in the hell kind of hand got dealt here? Because half the SEC is getting cupcakes at the jump. We're fucking playing in Atlanta first game, which I think we signed the contract for. That's fucking fine. Playing in Atlanta, and then we get one cupcake, and then we're in fucking hell for the rest of the year. What is this?
I'm trying to look and see what their schedule is like and when they play their
Oh,
first
Ole
like
Miss?
tough
But it's
opponent.
a fucking while. It
Let's
is,
see.
I can tell you right now.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. To be fair, they're gonna get wrecked the next
Why?
3 weeks. So after Georgia Southern, the week after is Kentucky. The week after that is South Carolina, and the week after that is LSU.
And they're
So,
both at South Carolina and at LSU. Fuck.
so
Damn.
to be fair, and then they have a little breather with Arkansas, and then they come to Georgia.
Oh, no,
To
no,
be
no, no.
fair-
You skipped over Oklahoma. They got to play Oklahoma.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. I think I said Arkansas, but I meant Oklahoma. Sorry.
They got to play
Oh
Oklahoma.
no, they play Oklahoma and Arkansas. My bad. Yeah. So to be fair, enjoy this cupcake of a week against Georgia Southern. Relax. Put your second or third string in so they can rest and heal. Cause baby, buckle up. The next 3 weeks.
Next 4 weeks. Good fucking luck, bro. Jesus
Good luck,
Christ.
Charlie. Good luck, babe. Good luck, babe. Like
Good luck, babe. Good fucking luck.
I genuinely,
I don't have the words.
I take it back. You don't have a bully season. You're gonna get bullied. Like, oh my.
Yeah, it's like this. They start off nice. They get bullied for a little bit, and then they get bullied for a while, and then
They get bullied for a while.
and then maybe Mississippi State is kind to them and lets them win. We'll see.
Yeah.
Bama, you beat Wisconsin as expected. Congratulations. Good job.
Hold
Blue.
on. I need to look at their schedule too, because
Oh, no. I got you. Give me 2 seconds. I got it right freaking here. Bama's schedule is a cupcake schedule. And I just want to joke about it for a second. So let's dive in here. They get a bye week this week before us at home. They get to play in Bama for us. We get a home v home, I believe. At Vandy, then at versus South Carolina, at Tennessee, versus Mizzou, at LSU, Mercer, at Oklahoma, and then versus Auburn.
so there's just like pretty up and down. It's like I have a bullshit week. Yeah, I gotta fight for my life. I have a bullshit week. Yeah, I gotta fight for my life.
If Tennessee, Mizzou, and LSU cannot keep the hype going, and I would also throw in there Oklahoma, if you can't either, the rest of their season might be a freaking walk.
When they hit October, good luck, babe. Having Tennessee, Alabama, and LSU, I mean, not Alabama, Tennessee, Mizzou, and LSU back to back, good luck, babe. Good luck, babe.
I think it's going to depend on how Tennessee looks this weekend against Oklahoma, because if Tennessee can't show up with their offense like they have been and that they've been talking up, it might not be as big of a game as they think. Now, I'm excited for it because that's always a fun game. But Mizzou, I have met too many Bama fans that are sleeping on Mizzou. We have almost lost to Mizzou several fucking times. If y'all are not careful, Mizzou will show the fuck up and whoop that ass, and I will cackle laughing. I will cry laughing if y'all do that. Don't look past Mizzou.
Babe. Good luck, babe.
Don't look past Mizzou, and I fear that they might, and that actually might be funny. And also have fun in Death Valley. Have a great time.
Ohio State. I literally, at this point, I feel for you. Number 3 again.
No, I don't feel for them. They haven't played anybody. They haven't played shit at all. They're playing Marshall this weekend. No.
3.
Stay
they just
3.
They just want to bump up
No.
one time. Like one
No.
week, can they just bump up to 2 real quick? 'Cause
No.
they just, that number 3 spot needs to just
No.
say Ohio State permanently ingrained. Because
No.
good God.
No. They need to play people first before they can sit here and talk about being moved up. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
I don't give a shit all because they haven't played shit anyone this season yet. And their conference ain't going to help them out either because everybody in their conference right now is not looking hot. So
I was about to say, I'm like, they basically are kind of, well, they played in Michigan State next week, which, like,
No,
they're not ranked.
They're
but
not good. They're not good. If it's Michigan State, Michigan, they might have a chance of beating Michigan. But Ohio State losing to Michigan State, that would be wild. I don't see it happening, though.
I'm gonna keep an eye on them because they play Boston College this week, so I'm curious.
Who
I'm
does?
gonna keep an eye on them. Michigan State. I'm gonna keep an eye on them.
I think they're about to lose that game.
But they got Oregon, Nebraska, and Penn State back to back, back to back to back. Which ain't as strong as some of these other ones, but I mean that's still a rough three
Where
weeks.
is it at? What games are at home and which ones are not?
Um, Oregon is at Oregon, Nebraska is at home, and Penn State's at Penn State.
Now listen, Penn State. I never want to play in Penn State to save my life. You will never ever see me wanting to play in Penn State because I will say that stadium. If you've seen it, shit's wild.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not as strong as some of these other back to backs I've seen, but that's kind of tough,
Yeah,
kind of rough.
eh. But complaining about being number 3 when your first 3 games have been nothing but cupcakes, fucking spare me. Like you just enjoy it while you can because you don't know. I don't know what the rest of the season's gonna have for you, but they haven't played nobody, so you can chill at number 3 and just enjoy it. You're in the top 12, bro. You're in the top 12. Good luck. Eh.
One day you'll get past 3. Maybe you'll be at 2,
No.
maybe you'll be at 4.
No.
Who knows? But one day you'll get out of that third spot.
No.
One day.
Yeah, it'll be falling, but no. It's a bitter
Speaking of
me.
falling,
Yeah, I expected this.
I did too. I felt like once the games got pretty close towards the half with Kentucky, I think we both said it. We were like, yeah, they're not gonna be number 1 next week, even
And
if they win.
and again, I'm fine with that. My expectation now that they've expanded the playoffs, we just need to be top 12. That's all we need to be. I don't care. I never care for number 1. I don't like being number 1, to be honest with you, because all eyes are on you and expectations are freaking through the roof. I'm fine if we're not number 1. Again, as long as we top 12, baby, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fucking fine.
I think Texas, in my honest opinion, has been dogging people out, and they haven't. I mean, they played Michigan and won, but the past couple games have been kind of lightweights. Now, what'll be interesting is to see how they play this coming up week, given so many of their players were limping on a cupcake game. So hopefully they use next week. I don't know anything about Monroe. So I'm hoping they'll use next week. Maybe it's a resting week for them. They can maybe put the second or third string in. I don't know. But all I'm saying is I just hope that y'all recover enough to be able to play the rest of your season because the amount of players I saw limping and hurting, I'm like, I'm shocked, honestly.
I'm not, to be flat out honest. It is that time of the season where everybody gets popped. And to your point, UTSA, they showed the fuck up. They were tackling. Not enough, obviously, because they weren't able to stop them ever. But they were hitting like it was like, golly, like their life depended on it. Their quarterback, apparently, Quinn Ewers, I believe is his name. Apparently, the injury was not that severe, so they're expecting him to play this weekend. They might rest him against UL Monroe and have Arch Manning play. Who fucking knows?
Which Arch Manning also been showing the fuck out. From what I saw, the few times he's been in, they've been looking at him like,
bias me. That's not shocking, but
it's not.
It's
I didn't
not.
say it was, but I'm just like,
No.
it's nice to have a backup.
it is
Because
nice.
there's some teams that don't have. There's some teams that don't even have a first string QB.
They don't even have a team, to be honest.
Right.
This is me being biased. Glad Arch Manning's good. Not surprising it at all. They're saying this is now sparking Heisman consideration, which that's hilarious.
Damn.
Which I'm like, first of all, he's got to stay in the game. He's got to start games for that to happen. Which I think they're going to stick with Quinn and continue to have him and have Arch be the quarterback in the coming time frame. Which I don't know if Arch is willing to wait around, but maybe he is. I don't know his game plan. He's a kid. Hell if I know. He's the Manning. Fuck if I know, man. But it's good. It is good to see a team that has quarterbacks that they can play with. I'm sure Florida wishes they had that. I'm sure
I'm
FSU
just
wishes they
saying,
have
they
that.
got two that they can sleep peacefully on,
Ju-
whereas FSU and Florida are sitting around trying to figure out if they can piecemeal something
I
together.
mean, Georgia used to have a history of only having one good quarterback on that roster. We now have a full quarterback room, baby. Thank God. So like glad they're doing that, but I think they're gonna rest Quinn. I think they'll start Arch maybe, or maybe have Quinn like do a couple plays and then rest him and have March out. They should. It's UL Monroe. Um, I think they should be careful in this number one spot. All eyes are going to be on you. They about to be critiquing you. You really about to see how much they favorite you, and how much that favoritism is a balance.
Yeah, I mean, not to be this person, but I feel like seeing as they're playing a pretty cupcake team and Georgia having a bye, I don't see really the first three spots changing much. Like, I
No,
think this is going to be it
I
at
think
least for next week as well.
I see the potential of some shifts when they have to play Oklahoma in the coming weeks. They play them October 12th, as well as we have to play each other October 19th. But that's their only top games. What is this?
That's what I'm saying. The rest of their schedule is pretty light. Yeah.
That's some atrocity. Um, they're number one. Again, kudos to you. Great job. Woo. You're probably going to be sitting there chilling pretty unless something wild happens.
My advice is to
Enjoy
stay
the ride.
healthy.
Stay healthy and enjoy the ride.